I'm standing alone in the center of the room, everything still and silent enough to hear ice crackle in someone's water bottle. 15 strangers stare at me. My mouth is inhospitably dry. I've just received my first audience suggestion from Avery, the teacher of this 8-week improv course. A pineapple. This is good. I'm familiar with this term. In fact, I've been known to scarf them seasonally at parties without using the provided toothpicks. It remains a mystery how to know when a pineapple is ripe, so I prefer them not whole from the grocery store, but already cut up and plated at other people's houses. To prepare for this improv course, I read a book written by 2 pros. But now, standing solo, 14 classmates and Avery staring, I realize that reading theory versus performing it is like conjoined twins where one gets all the nutrients and the other lives a malnourished, tube-fed existence. I just arrived in Atlanta and joined the class to maybe meet some like-minded goofballs. But the real reason I signed up is simpler. I've been programmed since childhood to crave attention. My 2 older brothers knew this and stole it from me every chance they had. I love my brothers, but I'm also delighted to announce that right now, they're conveniently 3 time zones away. And even though I'm in my late 30s, for the next 8 weeks in class, I get to essentially say, "Mom, look," with no one to interfere. Avery suggested a pineapple and everyone waits for me to respond. It seems as though everything in worldly existence besides pineapples comes to mind. Something on the tip of my tongue retracts itself like a halfway out sneeze that suddenly decides, "Just kidding." The room's been silent so long now, there's clear secondhand embarrassment among my classmates. One guy rubs his temples and adjusts his socks to avoid watching. I stare intensely at the carpet. Individual threads loom large. Lone granules look like boulders. Someone please pull the fire alarm. My knuckles turn white and I'm certain my face is some shade of lipstick. Anything still awake in my prefrontal cortex races for poster board and Sharpies to scribble SOS signs. Avery leans in, unfazed, as if everything is going to his plan. In a previous life, he must have played the violin on the Titanic while I looked for a lifeboat like I was chasing a laser pointer. The pressure in the room continues to boil. Man, whatever I say next better be good. It isn't. I'm unsure if it was even fruit adjacent. You know that feeling when you're walking upstairs and you go for the next step, but you're already at the top, and so there's no more stair? And for a second, there's this existential fear of not knowing that causes a panic, and your whole stomach jostles around like shoes in a dryer. It's all wildly unsettling. The door is only 15 feet away. The window is even closer, and hurling myself headfirst through it currently feels like the best way out of this situation. I miss my brothers. Being seen is hard. Avery is built like he has a gym membership and actually goes. His mind is agile and polished after a decade of serious improvising. He uses his eyes to command the room with youthful attention. It's obvious he's in his comfort zone here, like the waitress who takes your order without writing anything down. I've yet to recover from the pineapple debacle before Avery instructs the class to walk around the room and talk like an elephant. Excuse me? Elephant? I look at my classmates and wait for someone to ask the obvious, but no one does. I guess it's up to me to speak truth to power. I don't know how an elephant talks, I said. Yes, Avery said, you do. It's possible I didn't get this memo. He says it like it's a universal fact. I begin to mouth actual words, nothing audible, just some resonant grunts. I'm the elephant in the room. All I can think about are pineapples. And then my mind just leaves the room completely. Why didn't I stay in my apartment, my beautiful apartment, where my pajamas are moth-wing soft and my Wi-Fi is Concord fast, where my Egyptian thread count is 4 digits, where my thermostat is set to subtropical temperatures that force double takes and quivers from the frugal-minded. My blinds stay open so my neighbors can see. I am a legend in my apartment. But there are still 90 minutes left of class, and now Avery instructs us to walk like a snake. Excuse me? Is this guy still teaching? I have never witnessed such a feat, and therefore feel a primal urge to question the premise of the exercise. But if I mention that I don't know how a snake walks, Avery will of course tell me I do, and oh geez, he'll probably wink at me when he says it. This whole walking snake conundrum must be one of those cryptic, what is the sound of one hand clapping paradoxes, meant less to enlighten me than to provoke. I'm half annoyed by Avery's misplaced confidence. My other half is skeptical. Does he know something about me that I don't? The memory of my snake walk is slippery, but what remains vivid is my non-existent grace and slow disintegration of confidence as I wriggled through the room. One classmate got on the ground and did the worm, which was impressive, but taxonomically inaccurate. Another classmate dropped to his hands and knees and attempted some sort of reptilian yoga. Avery stood with his hands in his pockets, calm and patient, satisfied by the chaos unfolding. I uncoiled and collapsed back in my seat, still annoyed, still skeptical, bracing myself for some critical serpent analysis. But none came. Instead, Avery simply encouraged us all to just make a decision, any decision, and to fully commit. He told us that apathy is our only enemy. And then he added, come on guys, snakes can't walk. And throughout our 8 weeks together, Avery drifted through the classroom like an ice skater who just landed a quad axel, poised, unhurried, with an effortlessness that began to rub off on us. There was no single breakthrough moment, more like a motion picture length blooper reel of cranial malfunctions that became less and less threatening. I didn't stop fearing failure so much as I began to develop a weird, grudging tolerance for it. And this tolerance builds until I start to accept that maybe, just maybe, I don't need to jump out of any windows. Instead, I can be okay with not knowing what to do and doing something anyways. It's like when you pull up to a four-way stop and you see some other cars, and there's that moment where you realize you weren't paying attention, so you have no idea who got there first. And the only way forward is to do something, anything, and basically just hope for the best. Weeks later, I found myself at Publix, produce section, a whole stack of pineapples, small and spiky, green leafy crown with like cartoon hair. I stared at him just long enough to remember how much that first one rattled me. But this time, I knew exactly what to do. Golden at the base, a slight give when I squeeze it, ripe as they come. I set it in my cart. Buy one, get one. So I grabbed another. No hesitation, fully committed. I am a legend.